That's it.
So that was really cool playing, Edmund, but what other instruments do you play?
Piano, organ, keyboard, a little bit of horn, as in trumpet, and then various guitars and ukuleles. And I think that is about it. Apart from the tin whistle, which I'm taking up as well.
What would you say is your favourite?
My favourite to play is probably the piano. My favourite to listen to is probably the Spanish guitar.
And how long have you been playing all these instruments?
The guitar was the latecomer, about 15 years ago, whereas the piano, well, I don't know, as long as I've been around. Started when I was very young.
What kind of music do you like to play?
Depends on all sorts of things. Versatile. Pop, classical, jazz, folk. Can be a bit funky at times. And then I like all this sort of strange ethereal music as well. Trance and experimental music. Yeah, it's more what I don't play rather than what I do, I think.
I know you've used various household objects and items for percussion. Can you tell us a little bit about this?
Yeah, if it makes a noise, then it's useful. So lengths of pipe, saucepan lids, bottles with or without water in them. You can get two sounds from a bottle. You can strike the bottle with an object like a teaspoon, or you can blow across the neck of the bottle and get a note.
And this year you played at the Cambridge Folk Festival. That's a fantastic place to play. How did that come about?
I joined a queue of people who were queuing up to get a stage slot on the club tent stage. So I queued up 2 days running. The first day I was too late, so undeterred I came back the second day with a bit more time to spare, and I got picked. So I played for 15 minutes. That was summer 2017.
And do you have to do a little audition for this?
No, they just ask you what you're playing, what instruments you're using, if any, and what mics you need.
And how did the audience take you?
When I started, there were 100 people in the tent. When I came off, there were 300. And it's only a small tent.
So what got you into learning an instrument, say like the piano, and what's your inspiration?
My first memory of playing the piano was at play school. There were two of them in the foyer, and they always had the lid. There were these big old pianos, and they always had the lids down. One day I started to play one of them. I was about 3, and this big fat lady plonked her ass on the lid and said, "You're not playing that anymore." So I went across to the other one, and another big fat lady plonked her ass on that one, which meant I couldn't play them anymore. So when I got to nursery school, which was literally only a matter of maybe a few months later, they had a piano, and they said, "Of course you can play it. Not all the time, but when it's a good time, you can go on it." And then we got one at home, an old one. Then I went to school, started having piano lessons when I was about 9 or 10, and that's how that began. With the trumpet, I was at school again. I was about 8 or 9. One of the teachers wanted a little school band to form, so they gave me an old cornet and to take home for the summer holidays, and that's how that began. With the guitar, that came much, much later, because I just wanted something I could pick up and strum and play easily and not make too much noise, and something I could carry about. So I'm pretty well self-taught with the guitar.
So have you always had that musical inclination?
Yeah, it must have been there. It just needed waking up. So yeah, I knew that's what it was going to be. I just needed a way of communicating it, and when the piano came along, that was the medium between getting what was in my head out to other people hearing it.
So you said you were stopped from playing these pianos by these larger ladies. So were they not impressed with your music? Was any of it tuneful at all?
I don't think I ever banged the keys like a lot of young children do. I think it was quite tuneful. Probably basic, but it wasn't untuneful. I soon began to realise what what chords were. I'll just demonstrate if I can. So, for example, you know, rather than playing notes at random,
Hmm.
I'd select, three chords, three notes, and then the minor. And I began to realise what sounded good and what didn't. And rather than banging the keys like kids do,
Yeah.
I was gentle.
What is the most complex piece of music you've played?
Holst's Planets. I tried playing. Some of it's just too difficult to play on the piano because you need more than two hands. But Venus and Mars and Mercury, I did learn, and also Neptune, I think, and Saturn. Actually, I managed to play large sections from many of them, and just literally hearing it off the record and getting familiar with it. I didn't have the music.
So, where do you see your music going? What would you like to do, say, in the near future, the next couple of years?
I've done a lot of music, probably done enough music, but I want to get it out of its box and into the world. And this means getting people to help me. I've done a lot of recordings, which I've just kept for posterity, but some of those are good enough to share. And I need someone who is now not only computer literate, but is prepared to give me a bit of time, even if I paid them, to help me, get music out there, perhaps create a website, and get it out to a larger audience.
So, in a few words, how would you describe your music?
I don't tend to follow any one style or influence. I'm pretty eclectic. I mean, people have likened it to classical composers such as Ravel and Debussy, Vaughan Williams and Holst, but also to people like Mike Oldfield. So there's a lot of influences I quite enjoy. I played in a brass band, for years, and so elements of big band in it at times. So it's a mass of influences. Lord, take this badge off of me. I can't wear it anymore. It's getting dark, too dark to see. Feel I'm knocking on heaven's door. Knock, knock, 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 knocking on heaven's door. Lord, put these guns in the ground, 'cause I can't shoot them anymore. That long black cloud is coming down. Feel I'm knocking on heaven's door. Knock, knock, knocking on heaven's door. Knock, knock, knocking on heaven's door. Knock, knock, knocking on heaven's door.